thinking strategically about TikTok Shop. I know you're eager to get going. Please don't skip this module because whatever we set from a goal and objective perspective will determine how you make decisions in the future. This is your decision-making protocol, which will be the context for what advice I give you as well as what you see out there and how you ultimately apply it. Now, there's a litany of objectives and KPIs you can set within TikTok Shop, but I think all of these boil down to the core three. The first one and most common I see is test and learn. Maybe you've dabbled in TikTok before, you're probably active on other marketing channels, or this is a new brand that you just want to see, hey, is this thing gonna pop or not? This is a great ecosystem to test and learn as much as you can. And what I'll say here is everything that I mentioned later, think about increasing your surface area. Apply as much of the advice and guidance, keep your budget very minimal because you're just testing things, and try to do as many things as possible, ultimately seeing what's gonna be your breakthrough. But again, if your goal is to test and learn, your objective is education, knowledge, insights. Make sure you maintain that as a KPI. The second and most common around brands that have reached significant scale and are building real businesses is using TikTok Shop to drive net new customer acquisition. What this means is that top line revenue is not your only KPI nor consideration. And with it, profitability isn't necessarily the direct goal of this platform, but rather net growth and profitability beyond. This is you approaching TikTok Shop as a means of reaching, engaging with, and converting new customers unfamiliar with your brand in the most profitable or settling for a break-even capacity. Now again, for any brand north of $5 to $10 million in revenue, this is my recommendation for the lane you should be playing in. Use TikTok Shop to drive net new customer acquisition and intentionally do so. The final lane, and the least common but most interesting, is driving significant revenue and significant profitability. Because of how this ecosystem is defined, this is going to be limited to brands with a very unique margin profile. We're gonna cover that next in our financial modeling document that you can use and apply. But ultimately, if your goal is to drive significant revenue and profit, everything I advise here, you're gonna have to take to the extreme. Unlike folks in the first two categories, this will not be a or situation. Everything we break down from the levers you can pull within TikTok Shop is going to be an and situation. It is going to be this, and this, and this, and this, all working seamlessly to get north of $1 to $5 million in revenue in TikTok Shop. So based on those three, define which bucket you fit into, write it down, let all the other folks you're working with and key stakeholders involved in this know it as well, because if not, you will get into this ecosystem and the KPIs you'll start following will be misaligned with the goals you had set. Hold those tight and make sure that at the end of the day, that's how you make decisions.